Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Tonight I'm going to be playing some more Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit because I apparently haven't stopped my Need for Speed kick at the moment. I've been playing quite a bit of it actually. And as I stated in my previous Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit video, I still think that this is probably my favourite of the three games that I've played actually. Again, I don't need to reiterate why I like this game so much, but I thought it'd be funny to try out the knockout mode because I thought it'd be quite interesting just to try because I haven't really given it a chance. And more to the point, I haven't really played the game on anything higher than the standard difficulty, so I thought, what challenge is the AI going to give me on the highest difficulty? And well, tonight we're going to find out, because I figured I'd get into one of the more basic cars. In fact, the SL500 is a car that I think, again, I've almost never driven in this game, because for me, like, the draw of this game was to try the more weirder cars, along with the classics like the Diablo SV and stuff like that, and, you know, the Aston Martin to a lesser extent. So to see a Mercedes in there felt almost like generic to me, because these cars, at least the way they look in this game, look kind of generic, which kind of does the actual car a huge disservice, because the aesthetic of this car is timeless, the interior of this thing is top notch. Like, this car is a gorgeous car in the real world, on the road, or even parked. Like, I don't know if it was the exact model, but I saw something very similar to it about nearly 2 years ago now actually. I remember I was heading up to the gym one time, and there was this gorgeous green SL500 just parked in the car park, and I kind of stopped and stared at it for a little bit and took a photo of it, because it was just such a nice piece of art to just stare out the road. You know, it stood out amongst all the SUVs and all the generic cheap cars that you can get around here, because how dare people get by with, you know, cheap means of automotive, you know? Everyone's got to drive an $80,000 car, you know? I mean, I guess the way we're going is going to be the median price for, well, you know, the average price for a car at this point anyway. I'm almost certain it is, actually, but I digress. You know, people can have their preferences, you know. That's a thing I've kind of realised a lot in my time being an automotive enthusiast. Like, in my early days of my YouTube channel, I kind of shunned a lot of that sort of thing. Like, as a kid, you know, I was huge into cars, I was huge into motorsports, and I was huge into AFL, actually. I was, you know, huge into that sort of thing, and in my teenage years I sort of shunned it, because for me, I thought I was a bit above that, and there's no looking down on these sort of things, you know. People from all walks of life come together to enjoy sport, and to enjoy motorsport, and to enjoy cars, because they're hobbies, and people find purpose and solitude in hobbies. And I don't know why, I just decided to kind of shun that. That being said, I got into music, and it got me into a different hobby, and that got me into a whole other avenue of life that I'm very thankful for. But when I graduated high school, I slowly started to gravitate towards motorsports again, and AFL subsequently as a result. And of course, being a Victorian, being an Aussie, being an Aussie bogan, you know, self-confessed Australian bogan, had to get back into that at some point now, didn't I? But I ultimately did not pick my childhood club. That'll be a video that I'll cover when I actually play an AFL related game. Now, if it's going to be AFL Challenge on the PSP, or if it's going to be AFL 26 on Xbox Series X, I'm not sure. I'm yet to decide on that, but part of me wants to stream AFL 26 instead. But I digress. Back on topic of the video, I ended up, you know, slowly getting back into motorsports and all that, and that does show in a lot of my videos at the time, like say 2017, arguably 2016 even, actually, when I was in year 11 in high school, second last year of high school. I got Forza Horizon 3, but then again, I guess it dates back even further than that, because when I kind of shunned it throughout like 2013, 2014, in late 2014, one of the games that I wanted to buy an Xbox One for was Forza Horizon 4, actually. And so I thought that was kind of funny in a way, because like I never like wanted to, I didn't think I'd be getting back into like that thing, and I thought, oh no, I'm too cool for that. But lo and behold, it's one of the reasons why I want to buy it. Anyway, that tangent over. You can see there, I kind of blitzed the AI there. I made my best efforts to do an arsenal and bottle it, but I managed to do it. And I enjoyed it that much that I thought I might as well give it a go, because the car in this game actually felt really good to drive. Like, it felt nicer than the Falcon did, more responsive, handled better. So let's try a second race. But back to what I was saying, it shows in videos, you know, going into like 2016 in particular, because I did a lot of content on Forza Horizon 3 in its heyday. And then Forza Horizon 2, I streamed that quite a bit before Forza Horizon 3 came out. So it was kind of subconsciously there, like it was like, oh, it's just, you know, car games felt fun to play. And then it actually became a thing of, oh, I actually like these again. And then AFL, I mean, I kind of shunned that for a little bit longer, but then my mates, and specifically my cousin, who was also one of my best mates, I mean, he's featured in a lot of my live streams from back in the day in 2019 and 2020. I don't think he'll be watching this video, but he really does mean a lot to me. He knows that. But he's featured on some of my streams from back then, and if people go back to those, you know, it's almost it's a time capsule. It's a genuine time capsule because, I mean, we still keep in occasional contact with a lot of people that are in those streams, but a lot of those people aren't necessarily in my life as regularly as they were back then. And so it's nice to look back on those and kind of remind myself of, you know, how fun they were. As much as I might not be able to recreate that one-to-one, I still got a wonderful group of mates over in the Discord that were with me when I was doing F1 racing, league racing, and among other things. Like, you know, we're all still together, and that's a big group of people there. So it's kind of continued in spirit, but we're not doing the live streams anymore. I do feature in some live streams that some guys do there, but, you know, we're not regularly, you know, we don't play games regularly together. I mean, at the moment, we are playing Rocket League a bit, which has been a lot of fun, actually. And then we did play Super Battle Golf, which I really, really want to get back onto again, because that was a really fun game. I love those little indie games, and I mean, it's hilarious to me that the game, like the native rendering resolution when the game loaded up was just like, you can run this at 4K 60, no problem. And my PC, I don't know many games that my PC would be able to natively do that have come out in the 2020s. Can't imagine many, maybe some games from 2020, because my PC is not a super high-end PC these days. Like the Nvidia GPU is worth, like, I think about a third of the build. I've got an RTX 3060 12 gig, so it's, you know, it's not bad, and I came from a GTX 970, and I thought about that recently, actually, because I realized that probably would have caused issues with doing videos on this desktop, actually, because I only had a GTX 970 and like an 8th gen Intel i5, I think it was, so it wasn't anything too good in 2020, or, you know, it was mid-lower tier in 2020, but then by the time I upgraded to the current 3060, I still had that same CPU, and it was in 2023. So I imagine streaming and playing, you know, semi-recent games in the mid-2010s would have maybe proven a bit of a challenge. I know the 970 was a good card and all, but maybe it might have been a bridge too far. But alas, getting the CPU upgrade, getting the RAM upgrade and all that has made doing videos on here a bit more viable again. Hasn't been the reason why I started doing them. Of course, I've explained that in a couple of videos in the past and, you know, repeated myself in several videos, but I thought it was just interesting. And lately, I've been compelled with an offer to get the Intel B580 to try to take the shortcut there, because I'm pretty sure that shortcut is there in Need for Speed 4, but for whatever reason in this game, I guess there was just a memory limitation with the tracks and the way the game's been coded, so that failed. But again, you can see here, I just on a complete tangent, I've completely forgotten to talk about the game, but I'm like 11 seconds ahead with the AI on expert, so I just kind of went, okay, you know, no problems. Later on, I take a shortcut and I nearly bottle that in true me fashion. But yeah, I had an offer to get the Intel B580 for a good price from a friend of mine who actually gave me the RTX 3060. She ended up giving that to me for a good price. So, and she upgraded to a 9700 XT or 9070 XT, I think it is now. Yeah, it's a 9070 XT. And so she's just like, if you want the B580, you can have it. And it is an upgrade over my card, but my biggest kind of gremlin with it is the legacy drivers. The DX9 support is a bit of a problem, so it's better than what it was, but, you know, I'd rather have something with, you know, the actual legacy code, because a lot of the games that I am interested in recording video on are usually on DX9, and I don't want any issues with that. And I like NVIDIA Shadow Play, or whatever it's called now, you know, the software that's used to record these, because that's literally what I use to record this. But alas, you know, it's all in good fun, really. But yeah, so obviously, you know, going back to that whole thing about, you know, streaming and all that, it's fun to go back to those videos, but I'm happy to be doing these now. And as I said in my previous video about Need for Speed 2 of all things, you know, the plans are still there. I'm just kind of mustering up ideas on what I should be approaching. I could do Battlefield 2. There's that shortcut I mentioned before. You see, I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did, and I nearly bottled the lead in Arsenal fashion, but here we go. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing. I could do more Battlefield content. I feel like there's a few more things I could cover there. Namely, I've never done a Battlefield Vietnam video. But, I mean, I could do that. But you'll see some more stuff from me over the next couple of days or so. We'll just see how it goes. I'm just happy to be doing this at the moment. This has been a lot of fun to come back to. Even if it, you know, it hasn't brought the views, that's not really what it's for. It's about just re-establishing that sort of routine again. I like having a bit of a routine in my life, and I didn't realize how much I lost that when I stopped doing these videos, and in a way I wish I did continue doing those videos, because as I said it in yet another video, that was cool things I could have done. But alas, we are here. You know, I can only do so much to, you know, change or clean that up and rectify on that. I am here in the moment. I am choosing to do this in the moment, and it is worth my time, and I'm having fun. That's what matters at the end of the day. Kind of like this game, actually. I've totally forgotten to talk about this game. Funny that. As you can see there, managed to cross the line first, still in convincing fashion, and well, that roughly wrapped up the video. I might do one more video on this game, but I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Qualified for the next round of knockout.